flipped over my coworker's business cards, and she was ridiculed out of HR when she threw a fit. For context, I work at a well-known luxury department store in the shoe salon. To start, let's call this horrible coworker HCE. I'd been working here for about 8 months when they brought in HC. None of my team was thrilled, especially considering our boss had said he would stop after he hired coworker number 7. We work solely on commission, so the more people means less of the pie. This is kind of important later. Her first day inevitably came, and while at first things were okay for about a month, the drama and toxic environment soon followed. In the past, I've found it extremely difficult to trust my gut because of my severe anxiety, but this time I just knew instantly I got trashy vibes from her on day 1 and knew I wasn't going to be able to trust her. I won't go into full detail, but here are some general instances for y'all to better understand how much of a trash person HC is. She's lied and thrown her team under the bus if it benefited her multiple times. Whenever we called her out on her toxic behavior, HC would run to our HR department and spin a web of more lies and drama. Our team used to be super chill amongst one another when it came to helping clients, but with her, she was a shark. HC would stalk every client and push them to try on shoes and buy them, which sometimes worked frustratingly well, and it pissed us all off and made us feel like we were trying to fight for scraps. Don't forget, we work solely on commission, so this was affecting our paychecks. Not only would HC stalk, but she would steal clients. I have confronted her multiple times only for her to make up some excuse and not give my client back to me. Mind you, our store is prided in the relationships we build with our clients, so this was a giant no-no. She has shown up to work extremely hungover, drunk, or coked up, or all of the above at the same time. She has gotten aggressive with some of the sweetest coworkers I know and has shoved them or gotten up in their face. Oh, and just being completely uncordial, unprofessional to them. HC has messed up countless times with clients, giving them the wrong size or refusing to ever return their items. At this point, it had been over a year she'd been here, and I now hated this job. Every day I came in and saw she was working too, I was absolutely miserable. We'd all gone to my managers, but there was nothing they would really do. Eventually, we found out that HC began dating one of the managers in our store. In the ethics code, that is punishable by instant suspension and/or termination for both involved. We found out that because he worked in the back, he was giving her online curbside sales. I don't know how they did it exactly, but she was getting thousands in extra sales because of this, which is a giant red flag because this is considered fraud. Our LP lead also agreed that it was very suspicious, as did our state HR director, but nothing was ever done. At this point, I was fed up and didn't know what to do. I have remained professional, and I'm a very anxious person who avoids getting into conflicts, so I didn't know what I could do to get back at her for all the crap she's pulled. So at some point on a day she wasn't working, I just walked over to where our business cards were, and I flipped them over backwards, thinking she would just flip them back over, right? Oh, how deliciously wrong I was. I found out about a month later from a close coworker that HC freaked the hell out and immediately ran to HR and LP, demanding they investigate and find out who did this, complaining that we all hated her and that this was a breach of respect. Well, remember how I mentioned HC would run to HR for literally anything we called her out on or any lies she spun up? Let's just say she was not welcomed with open arms on this. HR just sat there like, "Really? This is what you're here for? Grow up and flip them back around." And LP was like, "Lord Almighty, give me strength. Are you serious right now?" To which they actually entertained it and asked 2 of my coworkers if they did it, which they responded, "No." The managers then berated her for this and wasting their time. It was mildly petty. I know it's not the most petty thing ever to flip the cards. But it backfired so beautifully, and I feel as smug as Jeremy Clarkson to this day. And several months later, they finally fired her and her manager boyfriend's asses because they got concrete proof of them being together. And this situation just added to her case being built against her. Since then, we are all in happy spirits again. My anxiety has lessened significantly, and while I'm still leaving eventually to go into a completely different career, I'm starting to like this job again. Oh, and the paychecks are much better now. HC, if you're here and reading this, I want you to know that it was me that flipped over your damn cards, and we're all dancing over your career's grave right now.